put me on a movie set, use my little bottom as the clapper.
Welcome to Whoa, That's Sick.
Bring the clapper in. Who, me?
Ooh. The only podcast where Erik says that.
That's true. That's so true.
This is a podcast for neat stuff, sick stuff.
Sick stuff.
And of course, fun stuff.
And we love fun stuff.
I don't know if you can see it, but we got a nice new backdrop here.
It's coming together. It'll look better one day.
It's so good.
Well, I had to pivot because I have never Mod Podged before.
Oh.
I've modded and I've podged, but I've never Mod Podged.
And that's the thing.
Yeah. So it was a little wrinkly, crinkly. So I'm trying to figure out a way to make that the aesthetic.
Yeah, wrinkly, crinkly.
We're kind of wrinkly and crinkly.
I agree. I think that's a perfect aesthetic for us. Oh, the guy I thought was Saddam Hussein is actually Benicio del Toro.
In Serpico? Maybe?
Benicio del Toro in Serpico?
Was he not in Serpico?
Was he? That would have been a long time ago. He would have been a very young man.
Yeah.
And he looks very old there.
With eyes as old as time.
He always has had old eyes. That's true.
It's so true.
If Benicio del Toro is listening, we love your old eyes.
God, what have they seen? Pops out of his mother as a baby.
Yeah.
You're like, what has he seen? What's gone on in there?
The doctors go, something's wrong.
We've never seen eyes this old.
Miss del Toro, this baby's all wrong. He's either going to be a star or he's going to be a problem. Mm-hmm. And there ain't no in between.
Yeah. And Benicio said, why not a little bit of both, baby?
I would have loved to see Benicio del Toro in like acting school.
Oh, yeah.
What would he have been like? Do you think he was a stone cold maniac back then too?
I like to think that he didn't even go to acting school. He just learned his ways on the hard streets.
Yeah. When they were casting The Usual Suspects, they just found a maniac asking for cigarettes outside of like a daycare.
You cocksucker! No, that's Baldwin. Cocksucker motherfucker!
What's that?
That's when they're doing the lineup,
Yeah.
the famous lineup scene.
Oh yeah,
Give me your money, you cocksucker motherfucker!
that's Stephen Baldwin's line. But then
One of the Baldwins.
Benicio del Toro goes famously. He like doesn't even enunciate his. I remember being a teenager and watching that and being like, "This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life."
This is acting.
He's not even saying his words. You remember those movies when you were like a teenager that blew your mind for the first time because you were like, "That's allowed"? Remember that?
No, I didn't really watch anything good as a teen.
No?
I don't think.
But I mean, like for a teen, what's good? Like it's like the first artsy movie that hits you as a teen. Like, and it's never an art house movie, or it wasn't for me. It's just like you see Fight Club and you're like, something's different here.
Yeah.
There's a whole new thing going on.
It was really like comedy movies that shook me like that.
Really?
Yeah.
You saw Kingpin and you were like, you're allowed to cut off a guy's hand in a movie?
And from a bowling machine?
You're allowed to show the Amish?
Okay.
And make light of their customs? What was the first comedy movie you remember rocking your world?
Well, I mean, growing up as an only child, I would have to go to like other people's older brothers would have to show me things.
How do your three sisters feel when you say that?
Oh, not good. I do consider I identify as an only child, but like I mean, I remember my buddy's older brother showing me like Ace Ventura and Beverly Hills Ninja, those like 90s comedy silly movies. Those were very fun. But then I was becoming a teenager when like your Superbads, your Hangovers, your Wedding Crashers, that great era of early 2000s comedy was coming out.
Raunchy comedy was back.
Yeah. And my parents would just take me to see it because they messed up once. So they're just like, whatever.
My mom took me and some friends on my 12th birthday to see Seven.
Oh.
And she got in trouble.
I bet.
She got in trouble from the other parents. And then another time, I think I was even younger, she took me and my sister to see Fargo in this like small community theater on an island where we were staying for the summer. There was like this little community. It was just like a rec hall that they pulled a screen down. And it was my mom, 2 kids, and adults. And she got some looks.
Oh, I'm sure. My dad, one of his famous stories, he was way before he was my dad or
Famous.
had met my mom.
Way before he
became my dad.
Way before he became President Obama.
Yeah. He was a coach of a little league baseball team, or like sponsored a little league baseball team, and took them all to see Porky's after a game.
I was gonna say Porky's
Because he's old. He's like 77,
and he's old school.
We watched Old School at my house too.
First base is carving a hole in a wall and having a look, boys.
Yeah, and make sure if they grab a hold, they're not letting go. It's like a snapping turtle.
Don't stick your thing through there. They'll grab it. They'll take it.
And they're like, it's supposed to go all the way through the wall?
And he goes, no. This is a peephole. It's for peeping. A glory hole is different.
Only one guy in the movie who's known for his big dong, Meat was his name. He could fit all the way through the wall.
And then they grabbed it and they snapped it.
Beulah Ballbreaker, the PE teacher, grabbed it.
Wow, I don't remember Porky's at all.
Porky's it's one of those, there are still some very, very funny parts, but then you watch it now and you see how much like older people laugh at certain parts. It's like, that is full assault, what's happening.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like, different time.
Well, remember when American Pie came out and there's that scene where
of course.
he's like filming the exchange student against her knowledge while she's stripping and everyone's going,
oh yeah, because he runs to Stifler's house or whatever to watch the live stream, but he had accidentally sent it out to the whole school.
Yeah.
And like teachers were on there, I'm sure. But it's funny because then he goes back and he comes in his pants twice.
He does? Mm-hmm. About that?
Yeah, because she's like looking through his porn, and they're like, "Dude, you got to go back there. You got to go see what's going on. And he's like, "You really? You should." So he runs back, and then they're like having a good time. She touches his leg, and he comes in his pants.
Oh my god!
And then he goes, "No, it's fine. I have reserves." That's a big line.
Big line.
And then they like start to kiss or something. Comes again.
Oh my god!
So
he used up his reserves.
But you can tell too. I mean, that this woman who's supposed to be a teenager in the movie, it's like she has full on fake breasts, and this is a 25-year-old, which that's why I'm like, suspension of disbelief out the window. I'm like, I know it's not even as cool because I know it's not a high schooler.
I felt the same way looking when he was humping the pie, and I was like, that's a cake.
Yeah, God.
That's cake. Slicing into a pie on the show, that is it cake?
Yeah.
It turns out it's cake.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my God, fuck me up.
Is it cake, but you just are having sex with a bunch of stuff? Try hoping it's cake.
Is It Pie would be a fun spin-off of American Pie. Jason Biggs on a show where some things are pie.
He just dips in.
He goes, no, that's just a table. No, that's a book. I want to thank our sponsor for this episode because it's a good one. And we're very excited to announce Hooves for Guys. Is there no God? Are there no rules? Hooves for Guys.
Hooves for Guys.
Now, Eric, what's your number one complaint when you're walking down a hallway?
That it's not loud enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wish you were making more of a clip clop.
Yeah, definitely. That might.
Here's my impression of me after you've walked into my room. I go, oh, Eric, I didn't hear you coming. And then here's my impression of you. Oh, I wish you had.
God, this always happens.
So, if only there were a way to remedy that.
Announce yourself.
Announce yourself. Women have high heels.
They sure do.
It's time for a men's version of that. And some will say, well, just, wear shoes with heels, men. There's dress shoes.
It's 2025.
It's 2025. Hooves for Guys says, no, that's not what we want. We want to stand out. We're not moving in. We're not chasing women's shadows. We're carving our own.
We're just chasing women.
We're carving our own. And if we're chasing women, we want them to know we're coming.
Yes.
Yes, we are that bold. Hooves for Guys. Get yourself a pair of hooves. They fit right over your feet. Or you can get the deluxe package. Whoops.
What can you explain? What's the deluxe?
Just a minor pair of surgeries. Your feet. Get rid of those old things. What's your number one complaint about your body?
That I have human legs and feet.
Yes.
That I have 5 digits on my foot.
Yeah. What a waste.
What a waste. What am I even doing with these things?
Sometimes I look at my feet and I think, what am I, girl? Hoove. Sometimes I look at horse and I think, give me some of that. Hooves for Guys.
Hooves for Guys. That would come in handy sometimes because sometimes I'll be walking down the street late at night and a woman will be walking as well. and it's dark and late, and I am a respectable fella, and I don't want them to get nervous.
But you don't want to seem like you're sneaking up.
Right. And oftentimes I'm trying to be better about this. I realize too late.
Yeah.
And I walk fast.
You try to burn by them.
I either try to burn by them. If I think enough, I'll like cross to the other side of the street and go around.
Yeah.
But sometimes I will specifically, if I'm like, okay, I'm too close to them now, I can't slow down because then I'm behind them. I will start like stomping my feet to like make noise so they know I'm around.
And you'll say fee, fi, fo. You'll say fee, fi, fo, fum. So they know that you're not coming to do anything nefarious to them. You simply want to grind their bones to make your bread.
100%.
I will say, I agree. Women walking at night, when I'm walking behind them, I feel 100 emotions. I don't know
99 of them are horny.
I don't know how to remedy the situation. I don't know how to communicate that I mean them no harm.
I go, I'm not going to hurt you.
Yeah. You do say it like a naughty little boy.
Who? I couldn't hurt you.
Yeah. They turn to look at you and you're putting your 2 forefingers together and making doe eyes.
Sorry.
But there's nothing... I've talked to hundreds of women about this, and they say nothing would make them feel safer than if a guy approaching them behind them on a street at night was going clip clop, and then she turned and could see that he merely had hooves.
Yeah, 100%.
Women would breathe easy.
Yeah.
And sleep the same.
See, another thing to do along with your hooves, because they turn around, you're still a man. Unfortunately, your horse on the bottom, if you know what I mean. And but you're still a dude. Do something that's disarming. Sometimes I'll carry a sandwich.
Oh.
Because they're like, well, no one's going to... He's hungry. He's not going to do anything. He doesn't have time. He's trying to get home to eat this sandwich.
Yeah. The problem is whenever you do that and then they turn and see you're eating a sandwich, you go, oh, if only I had something for dessert.
No, I did that. Or I pretend like I'm on my phone and I'll go, man, I'm super gay.
Yeah. You'll pretend to be talking to someone. You'll say, no, the gay date went well tonight.
Yeah.
No, I had a very successful gay date with a man.
And we go, the worst part was reaching for the bill. That was our waiter.
Yes, good. So who's for guys? Now, not to get too silly, but I have a house and life update, which means it's time for a little intro song. Eric?
House and life, house and life, house and life update.
Wow. Oh,
Ding, ding dong.
You made it a little 90s sitcom theme song at the end.
Ding ding.
Ding ding.
Now I know you didn't do that.
Steve Urkel fucking up his line on the set.
Oh.
Now I know you didn't do that.
Line, Laura. Got any lines, Laura?
Are you serious, Jaleel?
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Did I do that?
What's Jaleel White up to?
I heard that he shot himself in the head, and his suicide note said, "Yes, I did that."
I did that. Yeah.
I got a house. I wanted to say about your voice. A beautiful little voice there.
Thank you.
Have you ever sung?
Like professionally, or in a setting where it requires singing?
Yeah.
No, not really.
You never, because you're a pop punk boy, you're an emo boy.
am.
You never were in a band?
No, my dad is a very good singer and would like.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's one reason, among others, why he's so supportive of me living my dreams to move to the gay hellscape of New York City from our tiny Christian hometown. Is because he had stars in his eyes at one point and wanted to be a singer and did a lot of theater, did a lot of like local stuff, would sing at a lot of like weddings and funerals and stuff like that.
Funerals?
Sometimes, like Amazing Grace and things like that.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of weddings. Yeah. So, and I think I never learned to sing. He offered to like teach me, but to have your dad sometimes coach you or teach you on things, you just get like kid defensive because it's your dad, of
course,
instead of a coach.
Yeah.
But yeah.
How seriously was he taking this? Like, did he take lessons? Did he have a group when he was a young man? Was he pursuing that seriously?
Yeah. So he sang all through high school, was in like the chorus and all that and stuff in college and did all that. And at one point we found these old like headshots, like style photos of him from like would have been the 60s. It's very funny. He's wearing very tight white pants and like has a guitar like around like a stone bridge.
Whoa.
And he recorded an album.
What did he sing?
On the record?
Yeah.
I don't really remember the record, but he
No, off the record if you don't want to share.
Yeah. Pause the tape. Well, the way he explained it to me is that when he was coming up in the 60s, it's like you almost had to pick either like pop, which at that point was just like popular.
Beatles?
Yeah, I guess like popular music or like Broadway. And he said
This can't be accurate.
or at least the two tracks that he was gonna pursue.
Right.
Like he could play a little guitar, but wasn't gonna do like folk or whatever.
So he could either try to be like Donovan or he could try and be in the musical Hair.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes. But he said he couldn't dance very well and didn't know how to read music, but it was all by ear. And he had his family business and stuff. So like, I don't know, never really worked out. And then he always would do like side stuff growing up. Got his fix.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was nice.
That is nice. Does he still sing in like a men's choir ever?
No, he recently there's like a theater near my town that's like a very, very nice equity theater, which is surprising. I may have mentioned it to you before. Surprising in my town area that they bring in people from LA, New York, Chicago, and it's like besides the money that goes in for staging and stuff, it's Broadway level performers and performers who are often then on Broadway soon after. And the last show I think he was in, he did one run maybe like 10 years ago, but did a summer and he was in Les Mis. And
Wow.
Yeah, that and like
He played the loaf
Oklahoma.
of bread, I believe,
He
right?
pid. He did. They stole him. He was the inciting incident.
But they gave him a song.
Oh yeah. These bread. I'm trying to think of a
Yeah, find this.
I am yeast before I'm bread.
Mm-hmm.
I am
wheat before I'm bread. I am salt
and grain. You remember my name. They call me Pumpernickel.
But you can call me bread.
That's it.
I've been stolen by a man who needs to feed his family.
I've been broken of the body of Christ.
Wow. I hope that my theft doesn't spark revolution. Although being that important would be nice. The bread song.
The bread song from Les Mis.
Les Mis. About time.
God, finally bread getting its due.
So here's my house and life update.
Yes, please.
As you know, Eric, I recently befriended a local rat.
Yes.
Lots of them in this city. And he's been sneaking onto my head at night and controlling me.
Yeah.
Now, I thought this would be great because I'm trying to learn how to cook for my girlfriend.
Yeah.
I want to do nice things for her, and I'm not great in the kitchen. Well, I don't know what kind of rat I got, but those are not his interests. So he's mostly been steering me around the alleyways of New York City and making me jerk my thing.
Yeah.
Steering me towards little dark little corners and making me jerk my thing, and then he's been using me to find in what I can in capture female rats, and then so he can do them.
So because you're big enough to chase down and grab the rats.
Yeah.
He forces you to do that.
He gets me to make rat traps, and then I no kill rat traps, and then
That's very important.
and then I do it, and then he'll get in there and he'll do the female rat while I just wait.
Oh, so he just puts you like in park and sets you over there. Yeah. You're like,
He is just sort of treating me like a car.
Okay. I guess no. Just take your time.
Yeah, he's a nasty little guy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well,
No, but I've been trying to foster the relationship. So I've been trying to like, I'll take him to the grocery store. I'll sort of like walk through the different aisles towards like, maybe this ingredient, maybe that ingredient. And he will very impatiently tug me back towards the exit. He'll scream or he'll tug me towards the cheese section. And then I'll have to grab a bunch of cheese, and then I'll have to pay for that. And then he'll walk me into an alley, and I can hear him rubbing his greedy little paws together. He's a nasty little guy.
I mean, at least I'm sure it's causing some turmoil in your life to be constantly jerking your thing in alleys. But
I don't love it.
That is nice of him though to think of you enough to be like, yo, I'm gonna get mine. My man's gonna get his.
No, I don't think it's for me. I think it's for him.
Oh, it's a power thing.
Because when I'm doing that, he'll gather a bunch of other rats around and they'll make a bunch of sounds that I can only interpret as laughter.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to humiliate me.
Wow. Rat laughter.
In fact, I think when he's getting me to help him pick up girls, the punishment if I don't do a good job is he makes me to jerk it in front of an audience of rats that laugh.
Damn. But here's the thing. I like it. I go, please stop. You're punishing me, but I like it.
Oh, you'd like it. I should direct him to your room. But anyway, this rat's kind of ruining my life. But I'll give updates.
Yeah, please. No,
I'll keep you posted.
Keep us going there. Is there any chance of finding like a different rat, or are you kind of locked into this one and trying to mend that one?
Well, I keep trying to get rid of him, and he keeps finding his way back. And the problem is when I'm asleep, that's when he climbs aboard, and then he can kind of steer me until he hops off again.
Do you wake up while in the middle of these episodes, or are you?
One time I woke up from a wet dream and he was up on my head and a bunch of rats were in my bed laughing.
Oh,
fucking
man.
Sucked.
Damn.
Fucking sucked.
You can't even trust the rats in this city.
People talk about a rat czar for New York City. I'm like,
buddy,
make it snappy.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a rat czar.
And take the current rat czar's hat off his damn head and see what's under there.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's doing a good job.
No. I think there's got to be a rat up there who's, he's on the inside and he's fucking it up.
Do we know if that followed through, the rat czar?
Well, I heard that there was briefly a rat czar, and then a bunch of rats got together and overthrew him and created rat Leninism.
Oh, yeah.
There was like a big revolution, and then all the cats had to sell their property.
I do remember there's that famous photo of a bunch of rats pulling down the statue of the rat czar.
So, Eric, here's a fun segment that we're going to do called...
Bam, bam, bam. I miss that.
Oh! Now, what do you...
Where'd it go?
Now, where'd that go?
Okay. I miss that. Eric.
Yes.
We're both millennial boys.
Oh.
Actually, let me clarify. You're a millennial, and I would describe myself as an elder boomer.
Yeah.
I am, of course,
an agent of chaos.
I am, of course, an 80-year-old man doing my best to infiltrate your world.
Skibbity.
And, of course, Skibbity.
And a good skibbity to you.
Eric, what are some things that you miss from your childhood that you just cannot believe the youth of today don't know about?
That they don't know about. Renting movies.
Oh.
Going to a store.
My
talking to a guy.
God.
Receiving
kids these days
physical media.
Kids these days don't know how much you used to have to talk to a guy to watch a movie.
Unbelievable.
There was always a barrier.
Mm-hmm.
It was like talking to a troll to cross a bridge.
Yeah.
If you wanted to rent that movie, you had to answer his questions 3.
Mm-hmm.
Question the first, are you old enough to watch this?
I am.
Question the second, are you sure you're into this type of movie?
They always say something like, well, why don't you set me up with your sister?
Is that what your video store guy was like?
Mm-hmm.
He was a perv?
Aren't they all?
No.
They checked the perv test.
No, mine were all like kind of quiet, like film weirdos.
Well, did you have a cool video store with like that guy, like, Tarantino famously like worked at the video store and they were all like super movie nerds and they could like steer you in the right direction of a cool movie? Mm-hmm. Did you have one of those?
I had so exactly that, it'll blow your mind.
Awesome.
My video store guy was, Quentin Tarantino.
Wow.
And he would talk your ear off.
Oh, I'm sure. All right. Here's the thing.
Here's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to, I would try to rent a movie and you'd say, okay, here's the 30 movies you need to see before you'll even begin to appreciate this one.
Before you'll even begin to understand Babe, Pig in the City.
Yeah. Babe 2 it absolutely is pulling from. He'd say, okay, so we're gonna have to start with. All right, so we're gonna start you off with. Okay, well, we're gonna have to go back in George Miller's filmography. That's a first. So you're gonna have to start with Mad Max.
That's George Miller.
You're gonna have to start with Mad Max, and you're gonna have to. And then here's some other movies to help you contextualize the Australian New Wave, which really took the world by storm in the '80s and put Australia on the map. And then once you've done that, we're going to need you to understand the history of pig movies.
And before we even start that, we're going to watch the history of animals in film. Al Hathal Balthazar. You know that movie?
Hazard Balthazar.
Balthazar.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're going to go through the Bresson filmography, and we're going to teach you why acting is overrated.
Yes. Then you're going to watch all seasons of Mr. Ed just to see what animals were like. When they learn to speak on film.
That way you'll be able to appreciate how the ease with which Babe's mouth moves. Now, Babe 2 Pig in the City is a wonderful movie. Mm-hmm. It's very stylish.
We should rewatch.
Yeah. Apparently, George Miller directed it because he wrote and produced the first Babe.
Okay.
And it's a wonderful movie, but it's not very beautiful to look at. And George Miller famously, very beautiful set design on his movies.
Yeah.
Mad Max.
Well,
Happy Feet, I assume.
That part of Babe 2 where it's charging mostly down like a desert road and everyone's riding Babe.
Yeah.
And there's these like guys painted all in white and they're flying on big pogo sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the scene in Babe where he is just trying to get some gasoline for his little pig car.
Yeah.
But in order to do that, he has to give up his aloof attitude and save some people who have done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
From marauders.
But that's a pig's cross to bear.
It's honestly not unlike Pig in the City. He does visit a new place where there's baddies. Except in Babe 2 Pig in the City, there are monkeys and chimps.
I don't remember anything about Babe 2 Pig in the City.
There's like monkeys and chimps who are like running a hotel, and Babe's got to get in there.
Yeah.
But Babe's so sweet, he'll melt your heart no matter whether it's man or chimp heart.
My buddy Mike Rice, Irish dude who's just in town, used to have this old joke talking about one of his buddies, and the bit is about how his buddy was like homophobic, but he goes, and listen, this is not a smart man. This is the same man who once said that he hated the movie Babe 2 Pig in the City because in his words, pig should stay put. He's like a small town Irish farmer, and that was his big gripe.
Honestly, he sounds like the farmer from the first Babe.
He might have been.
That is
Pig
that
should
character.
stay put.
Pig should stay put. Pig should not be dog. Him watching Babe 1.
Pig not dog.
Pig should not herd sheep. Pig stays in barn.
Pig talk to spider in barn, that it.
Pig should not rally animals to his defense.
No, pig either talk to talking spider that grant wish or is personification of communist Russia.
Pig. Hell yeah. Pig should embrace the knife. Pig should not resist the dinner table. Pig should not melt the hearts of owners in order to stay alive.
I'm just a pig.
I love pigs, man. There's a pig I follow online named Wimpy. He's an ugly little ghoul. He's an absolute...
Is he little or huge?
He's small, and he's a little goblin. He's got wrinkles like you wouldn't believe. He looks like half pug, half gargoyle, with no pig in the mix. And his name is Wimpy, which is the cutest name I've ever heard. And I think he's a rescue pig, and he's one of those like social media sensations.
Of course. And are these like teacup pigs? They stay that size, right?
I don't know if Wimpy's one of them.
Is it just a baby?
He just could be a small, he just could be baby.
There's stories of like people getting these teacup pigs thinking that they're like a, this little cute little thing, but then it's a real pig.
Yeah.
And then it grows huge. They get so huge. There's pigs at my high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you went to the police academy. So that's just sort of a rude way of saying that.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, man. Dude, they keep them out because the agriculture department in my tiny little town is very big. So they have like pigs and they're like...
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your relationship with pigs would be so different from mine because you grew up in a town where they were just there.
They were just around, yeah.
For me, I visited farms and I've seen pigs, but from afar, I will say, I want a pig, brother. Mm-hmm. Can't have one in New York City.
Is that true?
Can't keep one. Can't keep pig. Can't keep chickens.
Damn. See, and that's just them trying to keep us from making our own food.
That's right.
Trying to keep us down.
It's big grocery keeping us down.
Yeah, it's food bazaar. Crushing our dreams.
Mm-hmm. I want a pig, and I won't hear no for an answer. My girlfriend knows I want a pig, and we've talked about this.
Dude, I went to a wedding once that was like one of those like fancy barns, that they rent out. So it was on like and there was pigs running around during the wedding. And that was just the bridesmaids.
I heard there were some dogs there too. Yeah, the groomsmen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Animal Farm? Yeah. I think it had an open bar. I remember Animal Farm, yeah. Yeah, I got pretty drunk and danced with the pig's mother. You know what I miss from childhood? Here's what I miss from my freaking childhood. How much technology used to blow our minds with the simplest step.
Oh, yeah.
I miss wheel. I miss my friend just made wheel for the first time. We didn't need phones. We didn't need email. All we needed was my friend from neighboring cave making wheel.
Because before that, you'd just be dragging stuff. Dragging it on the ground. Remember using just a square block for a while, and it would go clunk,
God, we
clunk,
tried.
clunk.
We tried.
And one guy made it smooth.
Here's what I miss from my wonderful youth in the 90s is music videos with a fisheye lens.
Yeah.
Now, I could say kids these days don't even know what an event a music video used to be. Now they're just everywhere online all the time. You used to need big money to pull one of these off. And there was a period in the 90s during the height of, I'm not talking Beastie Boys, I'm talking during the height of new wave and rap metal.
Baja Men.
Where you could not make a music video for your angry, sad music that wasn't filmed in the greens and browns of David Fincher movies in a basement with a fish-eyed lens capturing the lead singer getting so close to the camera and looking like an absolute monster.
Yeah.
There's nothing we feared more than the lead singer of Prodigy.
What can you remind me of a Prodigy song?
I'm a fire starter. Twisted fire starter.
Weep, weep, weep. As well as
Breathe the pressure. Come play my game, I'll test ya.
as well as what was the Rude song they had? I can't remember. They had a Rude song too.
Rude.
Yeah.
Like, I don't tip. Your haircut stinks.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, they had
If you're not walking fast enough, I'll shove ya.
I'm in. Fisheye lenses rock. Old skateboard videos. Those like CKY videos.
Yep. That was some good fisheye too.
Louis CKY.
It is funny to imagine what I think of as like fish-eyed lenses, like the images they catch where it's just consistently something getting so close it looks nuts and intense, and just being like, do fish see that all the time? When a fish see a hook coming at it, does it look like a frickin' goblin?
He's like, yo, this slaps.
Yeah.
Looking around.
Whoa. Fish see everything like music video. So I miss that fish. I miss that fish-eyed lens. Even David Bowie made a music video, I believe, for I'm Afraid of Americans in the 90s with a fisheye lens. Even he got swept up in the trend. And it's really funny to see a David Bowie music video that seems like it was made by a fucking skid. Just a kid who came out of the smoke pit. And he was like, all right, Mr. Bowie, let's go. Dude. Bowie's like 80 years old, and he's like, time to reach the youth.
I'm not a human.
I'm not a human. I'm an alien, and I've always been.
I'm a rock star.
When I'm Afraid of Americans came out, I didn't know what to make of it. I did not know Bowie. All I knew was that there was an old man whose song was now on steady play alongside all of the young rock bands that I liked, and it sounded weird. And he was going, I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. And he was going psycho mode with his head like a little bobble. I'm afraid I can't help it.
And you're kind of caught in the middle, being from Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, when I heard I'm Afraid of the Americans, me and my Canadian friends on the schoolyard.
You mean our neighbors?
Yeah, we went. Tell me about it. Tell me about it, Mr.
Does America feel like you're Mexico?
Yeah, we come down here because we want to get cheap stuff and have tropical vacations, and then we immediately discover that our money is worthless and it's hard to reach the tropics.
So true.
America never. What did America feel like? America to me felt
Speak
like,
on it.
when I was a kid, it just felt like big malls. I remember when I was a kid, it was just everyone would always talk about like, I'm in Vancouver, in Bellingham, Washington, north of Seattle. They're like, in Bellingham, there's the biggest fucking mall you've ever seen. And I remember being a kid like, what? And they're like, there's a roller coaster in there. And I was like, Mom, take me to Bellingham.
Dude, Mall of America.
In Minneapolis. That was another dream we had.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to Minnesota so fucking bad. It's insane.
No one's ever said that.
I know. The places that were on my hit list in America were just like, I needed to go to Six Flags for some reason. That was really like, that had good PR in Canada. It was like Disneyland, Disney World, Six Flags, of course. The others, if I can hit them. Bellingham Mall, Minnesota Mall. Anywhere else?
Are you an amusement park guy?
I still am to this day.
Love them.
My favorite thing about going to an amusement park is this. I get really scared on roller coasters. And I think you get more scared with age. Like your body, I literally physically cannot handle them the way I did. Like I get butterflies right away. I fall in love with every roller coaster.
it's because you're attracted to roller coasters.
Yeah. And I go, I don't think it likes me.
Wow.
But here's my favorite thing is like riding a roller coaster, especially like the rickety old ones. It's 100 years old. And you're like, oh my God, there's no way this is going to hold me. But I have to trust that I'm in good hands with that filthy teenager.
Yeah.
There's no one I could possibly trust more than that young, bored boy who has my safety, has my best interests at heart.
Yeah. They wouldn't let just anybody work at an amusement park.
No, they wouldn't. You're not. An amusement park is great because you know you're safe because the people looking after you are either young weekly workers or grizzled old maniacs who live parking lot to parking lot. And in either case, you know these are people who have A, taken their first aid.
Yeah.
B, a love for their fellow man.
Well, see, one of the main downsides of amusement parks is if and when they get overrun by ninja terrorists.
Okay.
Like I remember, I was at an amusement park one time with my two brothers and my Japanese grandpa.
Oh boy.
And we were just trying to have a good day at the amusement park, and then freaking Hulk Hogan shows up with a group of mercenaries and takes over the park. But thankfully, my Japanese grandfather had taught me and my brothers Tum Tum and Rocky, Kung Fu.
Right.
So I was able to impress the girl I was with, take down a group of grown men, also with gadgets because I was getting into that at the time. And yeah, no, it was a great summer, but that is something that's stressful every time I go back to the amusement park. I'm like,
Every time you call yourself an only child, I'm like, this is Tum Tum erasure.
Tum Tum will not handle this.
Now, this is interesting because when you started talking, I didn't know what movie you were referencing. Is this Little Ninjas?
Three Ninjas.
Three Ninjas.
Something at Mega Mountain.
Is there a scene in Three Ninjas where their sensei is trying to teach them how to catch flies with chopsticks, and then Tum Tum catches one with his hand, and all the other ninjas roll their eyes and go, Tum Tum?
Probably.
That's the only thing I remember.
Yeah. And Tum Tum's always eating.
That's the thing.
He's always, the grandpa's like bow staffing, like so they can block it. And Tum Tum just puts his cereal bowl on his head.
Oh my God, Tum Tum, get real.
Come on, Tum Tum.
There's threats coming, Tum Tum. You can't just do that all the time. Tum Tum. Were you the Tum Tum of your group of friends? Or would you say you were more the Rocky or the third one?
I mean, I like to think I'm a Rocky, but there's a period of time where I was a Tum Tum.
Yeah, I was a Tum Tum too.
But Tum Tum seemed to accept and like himself more than I did when I was Tum Tum.
That's always the way in movies. The silly little goober who's the third wheel is always at peace with it.
Yeah, you never see him when he's just like alone on a weekend.
Yeah. When I was
waiting for people to call.
When I was a little goober in the 7th grade, I was not at peace with it. I was scheming and trying to figure out a way how to become the cool kid second in command. I didn't want to be third. I wanted to be second, and I had to move past Erik to do it. Not you, Erik.
Not me.
Different Erik.
How would one jump the ranks in a friend command?
Your guess is as good as mine. But I will say
see a bra.
that my approach of calling the cool guy all the time and being as needy as possible, not effective.
Oh, yeah, and you had to actually call and probably get their parents on the line first.
Yeah. I'd say, is he in there? And they'd go, yeah, he's here.
Is he in there?
And I'd go, hey, Ian, what's going on? Hanging out with Erik. Fuck.
Erik? Fucking Erik?
Fucking Erik?
Well,
what does he have that I don't have?
This isn't something I necessarily miss from the childhood, but it is something that young people now do not have to experience, and that is, or maybe they do it a period of time, but probably not, is calling a home phone, getting their parents first, and then having to have that, especially calling a girl.
Oh my God, yes.
Is Whitney there?
Yes.
Yes. Who's calling? Oh, you can say it's Erik Scott from school.
Kids these days don't know what it's like to have to talk to Mr. Sullivan for a bit before Whitney hops on the line.
I mean, growing up, we had to send our dick pics to their dad first. Physically hand them
Knock on the door, hand the dad the dick pic, and then he says, what do we got here? And then you say, can I just give it directly to Whitney?
She's not in.
She asked me to take a message, so I'm going to have to check this out, son.
Dude.
Oh, boy.
When you answered the phone, would sometimes people think it was your mom?
Because when you were a little boy voice?
When you were a little boy.
Yeah.
And you go, it's Mark.
I go, it's Mark. I'm calling for the woman I'm in love with.
I'm just calling for the reason for my beating heart.
Yeah.
It's Mark.
Put a rubber on that beating heart, you little pervert. Whitney's not available. She's got homework, and then she's gonna go to an expensive school where she's gonna meet guys of more quality than you. And then I'd go, is she gonna be at school tomorrow? And he goes, yeah, you'll see her there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you'll see her there.
Thank you.
Don't walk her home anymore.
Do you remember distinctly calling a crush?
Oh, Erik, my entire 7th grade life was, I remember I had this girlfriend.
Nice.
I didn't kiss her for
didn't speak to her.
6 months. All I did was hold her hand and then think about how my hand too sweaty. Put my arm around her. Hugs. So many hugs. Long hugs. Hard hugs. And then think about how much I wanted to kiss her and be too afraid to do it.
Yeah.
And I would call every day after school, and she would never be home. And then I would say that I called her like 4 times to every time she called me. And it was death. Mm-hmm. Every day felt like anxiety and death.
Yes. And was she your first kiss?
First and last, brother.
I got a strict no kissing policy after that.
I remember we French kissed, and I felt like I was floating in space.
Yeah. But in Canada, that means smoking a cigarette and eating a piece of cheese while kissing.
Yeah.
French-Canadian kissing.
French-Canadian. The first time I French-Canadian kissed, I'll never forget it. She blew smoke directly into my eyes and then asked me if I wanted some Saint Hubert chicken. And then I said, is that what kissing is? And she said, do you want me to explain everything to you?
Stupid.
You are just a boy.
She's a grown woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was just at her third shift job when you were calling. She's 45 working at the GE plant.
Tu ne comprends pas le kissing. That's the classic French Canadian thing is throwing a English word in there, but hitting it so hard that it sounds somehow Frencher than French. Tu as ton auto et tu vas faire le parking dans le parking lot.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So I did some French Canadian kissing,
love
and
that.
I'm still hoping to get to do it in the old manner, tongue.
Yes. Have you ever heard of an Australian kiss?
No.
It's like a French kiss, but down under.
Oh my God. Anything else you miss from your childhood, Eric?
Another thing I don't miss, but it's just a thing I think about that kids won't have to do anymore, is the finding or crafting of pornography or nudie images. It was such a
Crafting.
Yeah.
Take me through that.
You know, you get like 2 paper mache balloons and you just sculpt breasts.
Okay.
Yeah. No, just the task that it was to find anything worth joinking it to.
What would you do?
Eventually, I mean, I stole Playboys from my dad that I found in his office. I put them in my school binder and like snuck them home.
Wow.
And I had those, and they were from the like 60s.
Whoa.
60 or 70, so full bush.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I get older and come shocked to find out there's not much bush anymore. But bush might be coming back.
Yeah. Well, if American politics are any indication, we get a bush every few years.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I'll take that over whatever this new style we have is called Trump.
But yeah, the finding of a Playboy, the Google image searching, the hard, like trying to download, you know.
Do you ever hear guys older than you, older than me even, but I do feel like it's my generation and the one before, where they're like, you know, when we were young, we used to have to find porn in the woods.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? How did this? There's no way. All of these guys finding porn in the woods? Millions of men claiming this as their memories.
Well, I think
There's no way.
someone had to put it there.
Oh, I know.
And maybe you put it like a take a pussy, leave a pussy.
Back in my day, you had to take a small bit of a porn magazine and plant it in the woods, and then wait till spring when it started to blossom. And it would grow into, if you were lucky, 12 separate magazines.
I remember.
And you'd pick them with an eye to not damaging the roots so that they would blossom again for the next year.
Yes, I remember looking out and seeing a few breasts sprouting, blossoming.
I remember when I was a kid, I went into the woods. We used to have to find porn in the woods. We'd have to go to the oldest tree, give a little knock, watch the little door in the tree hole open, and the small magic thing would exit. And he'd grant us a wish, and he was always exhausted. And he would always say, "Are you sure you want that again? I can give you anything." And then we'd chuckle and say, "No, just porn.
I could give you a real woman. No.
Give you millions
That's
of
scary.
dollars, set you up for life."
Nope.
And we'd say, "Shut the fuck up, little guy. You got one job here, and that's granting our wish. Now get the fuck out of that tree hole, make the broth, take what you need, stir up this magic stew, and let us take a sip."
I could start a Roth IRA for you. And if by starting it now, by the time you're 55, will be millions of dollars. Just give me the
I'm
porn.
gonna fucking kill you, little guy. Now, Eric, this is a very exciting moment in our episode because we recently found out we have a famous neighbor.
Yeah.
And let's just say he's a recent star of the silver screen. Ladies and gentlemen, this segment is called Interview with the Vampire.
Okay.
I was working in the lab late one night when my neighbor came down to talk. Now, Eric, I'm going to leave this to you because I got to go to the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
But please welcome to the podcast, Count Orloff himself, Nosferatu.
Wow. Count, how are you?
So, this is a podcast.
This is a podcast. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Now, you've been in the news quite a bit lately.
Yes, I made a movie with Robert Eggers.
Yeah. Big fan of his work.
Me too. I liked The Witch.
Yeah. The Witch was very good. Now, how was the experience working on the film?
Tiring.
I bet.
My rider asked for La Croix,
Yes. And
but
they couldn't
they
get that
did
for you.
not provide it, so I threw a fit.
Yes, as you should. You know, you're number one. You're the name of the movie.
I'm on Raya.
Yes.
Yes.
So you're out there dating too.
I recently went on a date with a interior designer.
Oh wow. Do you think you'll see her again?
Oh, I hope so.
Do you think she feels the same way?
I don't know.
Do you think you'd be able to put any sort of long-lasting spell on her?
See, that is the thing. I debate this because on the one hand I know that if I were to do it, she would be mine. But on the other hand, would she really?
That's
I
like,
want someone to love me for who I am,
right, and
and I don't want to trick them.
that's very noble of you.
Oh, it's not noble. It's almost an ego thing in addition to
Oh.
being a kindness.
Sure.
I want to know that I am lovable
And it's got to be tough being a big, pointy, scary monster.
with a big mustache.
Yes,
And
yes,
I
yes.
come from a big, different place. And my accent is repellent to some women.
Sure.
And I smell. And I sleep in a dust. And I shower rarely. Not because of my species, but I'm an Adderall. And I forget to shower.
Well, I imagine that's what prompted the move to Bushwick.
Yes.
Because now you fit right in.
Everyone is too young here. I want to date the women of the Upper West Side.
Because you're, what, 300 years old?
A gentleman never asks a monster his age.
Excuse me. Well, you don't look a day over 120.
Oh, thank you. I have been using a new moisturizer
Oh, yeah.
that a friend recommended, CeraVe.
Oh, yes. I'm
It's
a big
just
fan.
sort of classic Walgreens CeraVe. How come every time you go to Walgreens, the only things that you want are locked in the cabinet and you have to press the button? Folks, I'm not going to steal Old Spice deodorant. It's not worth it. I don't need a criminal record for a $8 bottle of deodorant. And the floss is in a cabinet. And every time I ring the buzzer, I can tell the employee is upset with me. And I want to say, we're in this together, brother. I don't want to summon you any more than you want to be summoned. Imagine going to medical school for 8 years minimum and then working at a Walgreens pharmacy. You would want to die. At least this is my impression. At least when I'm a doctor, all this expensive schooling will be worth it when I run a clinic and work in a prestigious hospital like the ones on Grey's Anatomy. Cut to, excuse me, Mr. Manager, can we change the electric overhead fluorescent bulbs to something that would make me, that replicates the warmth of the sun more? This is them, not me.
Yes, yes.
Manager says, no, this is Walgreens policy. You say, I'm a certified doctor. I